I want to welcome everybody here to the call tonight. We have got an absolute barn burner here for you this evening, a very special training here tonight on the mimetics technology, guys. That is a very powerful leading-edge science that Zilis is pioneering as a big part of our mission to be the world leader in endocannabinoid health. My good buddy, Diamond Executive and IU School of Medicine Professor Dr. Matt Andry. This guy is one of my favorite people on planet Earth, guys. He's also one of the most qualified when it comes to this portion of our business. And this is a conference call, guys, that we do from time to time, and it's especially impactful leading into SpringFest because of the introduction that you're going to see happen. Most of you guys know Zilis, but you know Zilis as a CBD or a hemp oil company, and that's important because we are that, right? We have the nation's #1 selling CBD oil by SKU. We are by far, I don't think anybody would argue, if you know this industry, we will be the largest CBD oil company by revenue this year based on the sales growth that is tracking right now, which is very exciting, right? But you need to realize and understand this, guys. We have a vision that is much bigger than any one individual product, right? What our goal is, guys, at the end of the day, is not to build the world's largest CBD oil company. Our goal is to build the world's largest and most successful endocannabinoid health company, okay? And so as a result of that, what we're doing is pushing the leading edge, guys, when it comes to research and development of how this company can create products that benefit and support the health of your endocannabinoid system. And the reason we do that is very simple. I believe, as the CEO of this company, guys, that the endocannabinoid system is the single greatest discovery, holds more potential for health and wellness, guys, and natural products and health benefit, quite frankly, than any other discovery in the history of health and wellness. I believe that firmly. And so we are committed to being the world leader in this regard, so much so, guys, that going back now what has been over 2 years ago, our company began to develop and research into something known as a cannabimimetic, okay? And I will pause that term for just a moment, and Dr. Andrew is going to come back to that. But basically, guys, this was the opportunity for us to develop products that would impact the endocannabinoid health, your endocannabinoid system health, in a way that would support what Ultracell was also going to do for you. And little did we know, guys, that we were going to open up a billion-dollar pipeline of product that was going to just in and of itself, I mean, you could build an entire company around this technology. And not only that, it's proprietary, belongs to Zilis, and it's one more of many details, guys, that make this the most unique company inside of nutraceutical science today, in my opinion. So with that being said, guys, I want to introduce our speaker that's going to train on this portion here tonight because he does a heck of a lot better job than I do. Dr. Matt Andry, guys, hails from Bloomington, Indiana. Matt is a practicing medical doctor there in Bloomington. He's actually a functional medical expert and widely regarded in the area of functional medicine. That means that Matt thinks outside the box. He doesn't just go with what traditional Western medicine would train, guys, but he's constantly pushing the envelope, looking for functional and naturopathic methods to serve his patients. He is one of the most passionate caregivers that you'll ever meet in your entire life. He is also brilliant. And one of the things that Matt has done, guys, he has dedicated himself to understanding the endocannabinoid system, what CBD really is and how it works, and also how the mimetics technology works here as well. Now, this guy is respected. Not only, and you want to know, well, who respects this guy? Well, let me tell you something right now, guys. Some of the biggest health companies in the world respect this guy because he's a paid consultant. Not only that, the Indiana University School of Medicine respects him so much that they have him as an adjunct professor to the medical school, okay? And not only that, he's a member of our science and health training team. He's one of our most popular speakers, a member of our medical advisory board. He and his lovely wife, Maddie, they believe in this so much, guys. They have gone out and built a diamond ambassadorship here very part-time in our company. So with that being said, guys, let's welcome all the way. I think he's by way of North Carolina here tonight. He's on a consulting gig for a very, very large billion-dollar health company there tonight in Carolina, but he's made time for us to be here, Dr. Matt Andry. Matt, my friend, we're excited to hear the training here tonight. Go ahead and take the call away, my friend.
Stephen, thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
Man, you are loud and clear, brother.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I just really appreciate this opportunity. Anytime I get to share on the Freedom Call with this, in my mind, what I'm going to call a family of people who are dedicated to this company and want to see it expand and want to see us help as many people as possible and to get ourselves financially free. It's like getting to talk to my brothers and sisters. So I love it, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share this information, and I'm really excited to do that too. So I'm going to kind of jump right in here. As Stephen said, I'm out traveling this week and away from home a bit, but I wouldn't miss an opportunity to get to share this information because it's incredibly, incredibly exciting to me. Everything that Stephen said about the endocannabinoid system is dead on. And as we go through this, I'm not only going to explain these products in hopefully more detail, I'm also going to explain to you how to generalize our understanding of how these products work to understanding more about how our own physiology works, because this has become, in essence, understanding CBD, understanding hemp, and this full spectrum hemp oil has been a window into understanding a great number of plants, botanicals, and compounds that come from nature and the way that they have worked for literally eons of time. We now have a mechanism to understand what they do, and it is changing everything. Every company I know, every scientist I know has begun to look at things that they have used literally forever from the natural world, including some of our medications. And we're looking at the impact that they have and the interaction they have with our endocannabinoid system, because we are understanding that you probably cannot understand any compound, any medication or treatment medically unless you understand what it does to the endocannabinoid system. I have a colleague, he's a cardiovascular surgeon, who made this very bold statement not long ago at all. And he said that he believes that the discovery of the endocannabinoid system will surpass the basically invention or change to sterile surgical technique in terms of how many lives it saves. And I don't think that's a stretch. That's a fantastic claim, but I think it's one that we're going to see kind of meted out in our lifetime, which is incredibly exciting if you ask me. So let's talk about this. There are many, many botanicals. There are many, many plants and compounds that come from things in nature that actually have very similar activity to the cannabinoids. They mimic our own endocannabinoid hormones, which again are just named from understanding that plant, understanding the hemp plant and what it does in our body, understanding the breakdown of the various different compounds that are within that plant and how they work in our body is what opened us up to understanding this endocannabinoid system. Now we're jumping around here a little bit. Let's talk about this endocannabinoid system just a moment. So again, a little bit of review just for a moment. The endocannabinoid system, what it is, it meets the definition of a hormone system. It meets the definition of a neurotransmitter system. But basically, it is a large group of what we call signaling lipids. They're fatty acids. And they have a part of the molecule that is soluble in fat and part of the molecule that is soluble in water. But these are made in every tissue and every cell in your body. And they work both really locally on that cell itself and the tissue right around it. And they also travel at distance throughout our lymph system, throughout the bloodstream, and they affect every other body system as well. And if you want to know the function of that endocannabinoid system and the reason it's such a potent target right now for every science, every nutraceutical, and literally every pharmaceutical company in the world, it is because of its central nature to directing and influencing the function of every other system that you have. Literally, your immune system does not function without your endocannabinoids. Your nervous system does not function without endocannabinoids. Your endocrine system and the other hormones that you make require endocannabinoids for their function. Your musculoskeletal system, your ability to make and grow new bone, your ability to heal injuries, all requires endocannabinoids. And these cannabinoids, in essence, their job is to buffer changes in our environment from having too big of an impact on our internal environment, and it serves to interconnect all of these body systems at the same time. So it is such a central figure. If you do not have your endocannabinoid system working well, simply none of these systems have the chance to work at their best. And many of them can be dysfunctional to the point of causing disease. That is why you have heard so many people taking hemp, our Ultracell, taking our hemp products for things that aren't related to actually what got better. I've had so many patients taking this for, my joints were hurting, and I gave it to them for that. And they came back, and their irritable bowel symptoms improved. They were taking this for sleep, and they came back, and they were no longer having infections to everything that came down the pipe every time somebody got a cold. You're seeing an improvement in the function of the immune system. So incredibly important, incredibly central to our function. So cannabimimetics, this is a very important word. It's kind of hard to say, but what is it? Basically, it is the word we give to these compounds from plants in nature that mimic what our own endocannabinoids do. And that, in essence, is why we have taken so many of these plants for so long, and the reason we have turned to them to help impact and help our health. The problem with most of the cannabimimetics Again, because they are largely fats, they're fatty acids, that they're in that same family of type of molecule, they don't absorb well. And as Derek Da Silva, our chief medical officer, has said many times, and I've heard him say this long before Zilis existed. I've known Dr. Da Silva for many years, and he's talked about how it's not what you take, it's what you absorb. You can eat these plants, you can take these supplements, but if you can't get them in their bloodstream, they can't do you any good. Curcumin, which is from turmeric, is a great example, and we're going to focus on that a little bit more, and I'll have more to say about that. But you absorb about 0.5% of what you take in terms of turmeric to actually get it into your bloodstream. So you have to take a lot of it in order to get an amount that makes a big difference. And so being able to absorb that well is a very important function and an important factor of any form of turmeric or curcumin, that you're going to try to take. Okay, so what we have here at Zilis is a proprietary cannabimimetics formula. It is a group of different botanicals that are put together that all have central function on our endocannabinoid system that help bolster endocannabinoids, and get this, they are free of hemp. Now, why is that important? Well, there's several reasons. Number one, a lot of people can be allergic to hemp. Hemp is a grass. Many people that have pollen allergies to different types of grass can be allergic to this product too. If people have even taken Ultracell and maybe didn't do well with it, that can be a reason that they didn't get the effect they were looking for. But we don't know the exact percentage, but it's not insignificant. It's probably on the order of 2, 3, 4% of people will have some reaction to hemp in either the whole plant itself or different components of the plant. So what do you do for them? Do you just say, well, nope, sorry, you can't take this, we're not going to help you? No, Stephen had the vision and the foresight to come up with products that would help people through the same mechanism, the same ability to influence the endocannabinoid system in our bodies without having to use something that not everybody can take. Still, while we have the farm bill that went through and made a huge difference, and it's going to make a difference in all of our lives, in all of our health, and in all of our finances, but not every state's on board yet. Even at that, some employers are not on board yet. It's going to be a bit of time before everybody understands the legality, or even from a policy standpoint in their company. And people that are restricted from taking CBD or hemp in any form, are we just not going to help them? No. Stephen is committed to making sure every person has the opportunity to get their endocannabinoid system modified with great botanicals and a formulation that will work. And that's what this formula is. This combination we call mimetics, it is ours. Nobody else can have it, and we're going to have it forever. Okay, so what we have are these 3 products that we currently, and again, I'm setting the stage for a weekend that you guys are going to love. But a lot of the principles that you're hearing tonight are going to be important to remember going forward with our company, because as Stephen said, we're looking to be not just the best CBD company. We're looking to be the endocannabinoid system company. And that is very high ideals to set. It's also incredibly timely. Everyone else I know in science and in health is looking to do a similar thing, but we have the biggest jump start on them in terms of products and understanding. So in all of these products, we have the phytocannabinoids that come from other plants, not hemp. We also have the terpenes that come from all these plants. Beta-caryophyllene, which is an extremely important compound that basically is a very potent CB2 agonist, very similar to what CBD is. And beta-caryophyllene is a very potent compound that reduces inflammation in the body. In activating that CB2 receptor, it helps tone down aggressive immune function. And we have many patients taking these products in order to get that beta-caryophyllene is a major component of what makes these work. Alkamides, which are other factors that come from all of these plants that have, that's a whole family of compounds that basically many of them have endocannabinoid system activity. They work on the receptors, and they help adjust the enzymes that create and make and break down your own endocannabinoids. Very, very important to remember. So what makes up our mimetics formula? Well, number one, it's green tea. Green tea has compounds within it that work on both CB1 and CB2 receptors together. We have the hops flower. Hops, and I'm very glad to hear this because, as Stephen will tell you, I'm a guy who likes my IPA beer, which have a lot of hops. And that's great because hops is one of the more potent forms and sources of beta-caryophyllene that we know of. So an extremely important CB2 agonist that you have from hops, and we've put it in our mimetics formula. Echinacea. Echinacea is something that the natural medicine world has used for years and years, millennia, really, and we know that much of the activity that it has will help your body fight off infections, especially viral infections. And we've never really known the mechanisms why, and we're just beginning to because of the understanding that CBD has given us. You have CB1 and CB2 activity. You have mimicking of anandamide and 2-AG. You also have basically breaking down and inhibiting the FA, fatty acid amide hydrolase enzyme, which is what breaks down your anandamide. When you have echinacea, you keep your anandamide around longer so it can work better. So that is a huge reason that this was included, and it's perfect to be included. Turmeric, as I mentioned before, turmeric is one of the most important compounds and spices and cannabimimetics we have on Earth. It is a very potent CB1 agonist. It also does have some CB2 activity, very good at reducing that overactive immune system in the body. And along with that, ginger. Ginger does also, as echinacea does, inhibit that fatty acid amide hydrolase enzyme, keeping your own anandamide around much longer. So we have these products, Ultra Dream, Ultra Edge, and Ultra Ice. And I'm going to go through these specifically, but how do you use them? And you may wonder, well, again, I've got Ultracell and it's working great. Well, why might I need these? Well, if you're getting everything you need health-wise from Ultracell, that's great. That's perfect. It's a great source of endocannabinoid boosting materials. But if you don't get every result that you need, let's use these other botanicals. Let's focus on, with Ultra Dream, we're going to focus on sleep. But we're going to go through these in a little bit of detail here, being respectful of everybody's time. But what we've done and what Stephen has done is combine the Ultra technology. And that is what the technology, it's a matrix that allows us to absorb and increase the surface area so that the Ultracell, the CBD, the compounds that come from the hemp plant will absorb quickly into our body, literally up to 30 times greater than other oils that are on the market. And what Stephen has done is we've taken the same technology and married it to tons of other botanicals and then formulated them to target different conditions within the body. All right. So all these put together, it has made Zilis right now the world's premier endocannabinoid brand, and I love being part of that process. So let's talk about these in a little bit more specifically. So Ultra Ice is a very potent anti-inflammatory, and it uses many different, along with the mimetics formula, compounds that help reduce swelling. Dr. DeSilva says it puts the fire out, and that's a great way to put it. I have many patients that I use this with in my office who are finding benefit for their joints, finding benefit for sore muscles, finding benefit for headache. My own dear sweet wife herself, anytime Ultracell does not control her headache sufficiently, this is what she grabs. And a great percentage of the time, it's just what she needs. I take it whenever I've got sore neck, sore muscles. And it actually tastes really, really good. You'll notice the ginger and the turmeric and the beta-caryophyllene in it gives it that peppery flavor, which causes it to be very well absorbed. I know the first time we started using this, I looked at Maddie and she had this scowl on her face. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I just spent about $80 on turmeric, and I just learned that I absorb less than 0.5% of it." Well, folks, when you take Ultra Ice, you are increasing the absorption of this product 60-fold. You get 60 times more turmeric in this than eating curry or taking turmeric itself, and that is phenomenal, which means that this very potent cannabinoid agonist that you can take, you actually get it. You actually get it in your body, into your bloodstream, and into your cells. And you can do that without being worried about drug testing, without being worried about allergies or issues with hemp. So this is a product that we use a lot in our practice. And again, the margins, if you buy this at the pricing that Stephen allows, you get a very good margin. And this has been a very big addition to our practice. Ultra Dream. I want to focus a fair bit on this product because it has been revolutionary for me personally. I love all the Zilis products. I take them all. But the one I take more than I take any other product, including the hemp oil, is Ultra Dream. I take this literally every night. And if I do not take it, if I miss it, if I forget it or anything else, my sleep suffers. What Stephen has done and our formulation team, they have taken the mimetics formula and added different compounds together, such as GABA, such as chamomile, and put them in a form, again, that can be highly absorbed. They work on the endocannabinoid system to help increase your anandamide, keep your anandamide working longer, and working in your sleep center so that you can get to sleep more easily and you can stay asleep better. It's an amazing thing when I take it. You all may know about a concept called, or maybe you haven't heard of it, called this. We call it the sleep window. And what the sleep window is that moment when you're laying around at night or talking to your family or friends and you just get this not overwhelming but strong urge, okay, I need to go lay down. If I wasn't busy with something else, I'd go to sleep right now. We call that, and you know that if you don't go to bed and if you ignore it, you're not going to go to sleep. You're not going to get to sleep very easily. And that's what we call the sleep window. What I believe, and I've experienced myself, Ultra Dream does, is it makes my sleep window stronger and longer. I've got more leeway about how long I can wait before I go lay down and get to sleep. I also tell much more easily when it's time to go lay down. And if I listen to my body and listen to what my endocannabinoids are telling me and lay down, I get fantastic sleep. Now, I want to tell you a little secret about this product. In fact, it's really can apply to all the products. One of the I won't say problems, I'll use the word challenges or very interesting things to keep in mind. When you've got a technology like we have here at Zilis with the Ultra ability, the Ultra formulation that gets these materials into your bloodstream, it is incredibly efficient. These are the most efficient ways I know of to get any of these compounds, including hemp, into your bloodstream. Sometimes you can overdo it and miss the effect that you're looking for. So, for example, the first times I took and Maddie took the Ultra Dream, we just took a 1 or 2 full droppers, and we woke up, felt refreshed, but we had some pretty vivid and amazing dreams, and felt like we didn't get as deep a sleep as we could. I now take literally 3 or 4 drops. That is all it takes for me to get great sleep, and that's the beauty of this Ultra technology. And if you are taking any of the Ultra products and finding that you are not getting the results that you're looking for, the very first thing that you need to do is adjust your dose and try a different dose before you give up on it. This stuff is so potent getting into your system that you have to respect that Ultra technology and understand that you need it. You need to modify what your body takes in so that you're getting the correct amount and the correct concentration to get the effect that you're looking for. It's a very good tool, but it's like having a crescent wrench, and you may have to dial it up wide to be able to get the effect and the changes and things that you want, or you may need to crank it down and use a much smaller dose to get certain things. And your body, now listen to this, you may need different doses at different times. You may need to experiment. You may need to widen the things that you try for it, and definitely do that before you give up on it. And when you introduce any other people to these products, you need to tell them that too. You need to tell them that they need to adjust their dose to their system. That as little as 1 or 2 drops could be enough. As much as 2 or 3 or 4 droppers full could be what's right for them. And you say, well, why would it be? In my practice, I see this all the time. You can't use the same doses for treating people with any medication, and the exact same thing is true of these products. But Ultra Dream is one of my absolute favorites. We sell the heck out of this in our office. Again, great margins that we have, and it literally can be something that can get people off of other things that they take or do to try to get to sleep. And people ask me all the time, I'll say, well, can I take this with if I'm on other sleep meds? Well, a lot of other things that people take for sleep, you don't want to just stop because you get what we call a rebound effect or harder time sleeping. Take this with it. There's nothing that it will have a significant interaction with that I know of at all. It's not that it's impossible. I've never heard of any, and I've looked at these compounds in some detail and happy to take input if people know about them. But at this point, there's certainly nothing dangerous about taking it, and you can take them together with other agents, with other botanical supplements, even pharmaceuticals. But if you're sleeping well, see if you can get rid of some of those things that may have more cost, may have more risk to your system. And we use this with Ultracell all the time. What I usually take, especially if I'm having any kind of inflammation or problem in the body, is I'll take 2 to 3 drops of Ultracell, about 3 drops of Ultra Dream, and it works great for me. Your body may need more, and that is totally fine. Take what you need and listen to your system. Okay, Ultra Edge. I love this product. Ultra Edge is our formulation using the mimetics technology in combination with a number of other botanicals called nootropics, Nootropics, nootropics. And what nootropics are is they're compounds that help support cognitive function, brain function, thinking, energy, focus, attention, memory. All of these facets of life, these facets of how your brain works, require the compounds in these nootropics for their ultimate function. And what we've done is taken these compounds, and I love what the slide says here, you become a mental ninja. I have used this to get people off of Monster energy drinks, off of 5-Hour Energy that they're spending literally fortunes on buying this junk, a bunch of sugar and caffeine together at the gas station, trying to keep themselves going during the day. And that is like robbing Peter to write a bad check to Paul. It'll work in the short term, but in the long run, you're not going to get any effect that you really want, and you can really harm yourself. So the Ultra Edge uses the mimetics technology along with a few different compounds. You can look on the list. We have citicoline, which is a very important function compound that is a building block, or many other compounds that you need in your system to protect your neurons and to help your cognitive function. It's even been shown to help with dementia. So that's a very important compound that is in there. We also have hesperidin. Hesperidin comes from the white material in citrus fruits, that stuff that everybody tries to peel off and throw away. Don't throw it away. It's really, really good for your brain. We also have huperzine, which also is a very important factor for reducing neuroinflammation. And when you put these together with the mimetics technology and the phytocannabinoids that we have from other plants, what you get is a compound that helps build your brain power. It helps build your memory. It helps improve your focus. One of the other things in it that's very important is called maca. Maca is a root. Comes from several different places, but South America is a large place that we can get it. And maca is a very important balancer of your adrenal function. We need, and you have to have to function right for any aspect of life, a good balance between what we call your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And what maca does is it helps lower the sympathetic overdrive, and it helps support your adrenals such that you're releasing the compounds that you need. The way that balance between those two systems works, it's a bit like a pendulum. If you stay in sympathetic drive all the time, you basically are wearing out your receptors. You need a break from them. And what maca does is it helps supercharge those receptors, and it helps you balance the bridge between those two functions so that when you need it, your sympathetic nervous system can come right online. Your energy, your speed of thinking and things go up. Warriors would keep maca with them when they would go into battle because it would help sort of supercharge them to do that. I have seen people get off of, as I said, those energy drinks, which I think are pretty poisonous, caffeine, Starbucks addictions. You talk about an expensive addiction. I think it's up there with heroin right now in terms of cost. And I've seen people get away from that. I've seen people get away from drugs, from medicines, from things that we would use that help with focus and attention. People moving to this instead, getting off of things that are addictive, or controlled substances and so forth. And in our practice, we absolutely love it, and we sell a great deal of this in our practice too. So when we take all these compounds together, I didn't even look at this list. I should have. But all of these factors together, and I don't have time to go through every one of them in detail, but you'll also see this building of your kind of mental stamina such that you can get more things done before you wear out during the day. We've also seen people's weight get improved, which is a very good thing to remember and use because weight is one of the absolute it's the epidemic of our time. It is what is killing about 400,000 Americans a year, and we still treat it like it's just due to a bad personality. Let me just tell you, it's not. It's chemistry. And if you can modify the chemistry, you can get a hold on that condition in your life too. And this is full of compounds that help in balancing that adrenal function. Very, very important way to do that. And that's just the beginning. I'm going to leave it there. So we're going to talk about a lot of the compounds in the mimetics formula, what they can do for you. And we've got great other things coming up. And I'm so excited to get to talk to you all and see you at SpringFest this coming week. Stephen, that's the main things I wanted to say, and let me know anything else you want.
No, I don't even think you're getting away that easy, my friend. Awesome job, man. It's exciting when you stop. I want to go back to something here, Matt, because I think it's really important for everybody here to understand, and I actually had pulled this up. So when we talk about, can you back up, if you will, just can you come back around and tie a bow around the Ultracell, which is full spectrum, right, organically extracted, CBD rich oil that's actually not even oil, it's actually hemp liquid right after the Ultracell technology. But can you do me a favor, now that we have that background, I think the next few slides, when you look at the way this is laid out inside of the presentation, I mean, it's perfect, right?
Yes.
Can you just touch on the next 5 and just kind of those 5 slides, and now if we could put a bow around that for everyone's understanding, because I think that you go into all these details. There's a lot of people, Matt, that haven't truly realized just how deep the formulations. Again, we could build the entire company around this whole cannabimimetic platform, and we would be the only one. Now, as you know, and we tell people this all the time, and you can touch on this, there's nothing that is as powerful as hemp, guys. I mean, the cannabinoid profiles are so rich, hops and the echinacea and all the different things that we're extracting from, they don't equal. It's not 1-to-1. I think that's important. And they do enter the receptor sites differently, but they work perfectly when it comes to
Yep.
kind of a 1-2 punch. So if you don't mind diving a little bit into that, please.
Absolutely, and I love the presentation. What you all have come up with for our presentation is a perfect way to introduce these products and a very efficient way to get into these discussions. But when you all are out presenting these are some of the things that I like to tell people. The UltraCell, using again this ultra technology that's in all the products that we talked about tonight. When you marry that to hemp oil, you're talking about a gold mine of health modulation. You have the reason we call it an endocannabinoid system is we named it after the plant. Hemp is really, really good. It's the most potent way to get all these compounds together. It's so good that we named the system after it, and that's why we call them that. But it's extremely important that you're picking products that are out there that work. And as Dr. De Silva said, I believe it was last week or the week before, take a drop of this and put it in a glass of water and watch it. It's miscible. It will dissolve completely. And no other hemp oil is going to do that. And that tells you what happens when it gets in your bloodstream. It spreads out, and there's no other compound that does that. The other reason UltraCell is so great, you got to realize that when you're talking about a plant that can do all these things, man, if you get hemp from a bad source, that can be incredibly toxic. And none of these other companies out there are going to tell you what's in it, where it comes from, how they break it down, how they source it, and so forth, because they don't want you to know, and they may not even be able to get it from the same place next month. They're going to the beauty of our company, one of them, is that Stephen has made sure we've got a consistent product, and we're big enough to do that. But these other compounds, if they don't grow them on a USDA certified and source it from a USDA certified hemp, then you're playing with fire to take that. You have to have a USDA certified organic to feel safe about taking a hemp product. But you have all those compounds that are in the hemp plant together, the cannabinoids, the terpenes, the flavonoids, the vitamins. But again, if you don't get them into your bloodstream, they do you absolutely no good. So it's the marriage of that to the ultra technology that makes it special. Now, we consider UltraCell the gold standard. What I tell everybody, and I have doctors all around the country and from other parts of the world literally ask me, said, well, how do I know what's a good product, and what do you use? And I say I use UltraCell for 4 reasons. 1, it's organically sourced. 2, it's a superior formulation of a full spectrum oil. It's not just CBD. Just CBD does. I've talked to docs for years who said, we tried a little CBD, it didn't do much. Man, when you use a full spectrum hemp oil, it's a different ball game, and it works tremendously better. We also have that absorption that nobody else has. Nobody else even comes close. And we also have no THC. We have 0.0% or less THC, which is going to make it much safer for people to take this and other hemp oils that are out there on the market. So you put those together, there is no product like UltraCell. But when you have this family of compounds together, you have the ability to get the ultra technology, getting hemp, the phytocannabinoids that are within hemp, which are incredibly powerful, into your body. And then if that's not right for you, not quite enough, or you can't take it, you're allergic, then we've got the boosters that allow you to get these same gifts of nature into your body and affect your health. Now, the absorption, as I said, is just tremendous. No one has been able to reproduce this that I have seen anywhere. This technology gets it into your system, and in my mind, one of the most important things, it gets it in there fast. When you can get this, you start putting it under your tongue, you're talking instantaneously, literally being able to make differences in some very important and very important things that cause suffering, pain, anxiety, and so forth. If you're going to take another hemp oil for those things, you're talking an hour, 2 hours before you're going to feel it. You can take this, and you're going to get all these products into your system extremely quickly. So you're going, and the people that you share this with are going to have confidence that is the thing that made a difference for them. Plus, it stays available for a very long time, resisting the damages that digestion can do to those products, keeping it in your bloodstream with a long half-life. And that technology is just it's an absolute miracle, and I'm very, very grateful to have it. So that's the beginnings of it. Tell me what else you want.
Well, you know what's next, brother. That's UltraCell technology. At the end of the day, Matt, you said it doesn't matter what we take. And this, guys, I mean, we touch on this, and we do our best to train on this for you as an ambassador to realize and to understand. But if you want to know, what is going to secure your future as it relates to what is going to make what you offer to the marketplace different than anything. I mean, Matt, it's not even debatable. You and I were going back and forth on the absorption chart, and we talked about maybe actually showing a comparable on our actual chart, actually showing where typical CBD would come in on that chart, because you're talking about here, guys, this is a commodity. and it goes for $35K per kilo if you want organic full spectrum extraction, right? It's not cheap. And so when you're dealing with an active that you need to take and you're trying to figure out a way to say, okay, I've got something here that's going to be, X powerful, and yet I've got the ability to deliver that same thing to you for a cheaper price, and it's going to be 20 or 30 times more effective, right? That same impact goes into the mimetics and the boosters as well. So could you just touch on Ultracell as a technology and how it fits and how it overlays both over on the hemp side and also on the mimetic side?
Yes, absolutely. And I'll tell you, if anything, the thought I have had it sometimes is, I know this sounds crazy, but it's almost like it's too powerful. It's too good. I mean, I have some people that literally one drop of the Ultracell is a bit more than they can handle. So I have a number of patients, especially those we call, sensitives. And that's not a put down. It's just that their system can really respond to things very easily. I literally have them put one drop in 4 to 6 ounces of water and sip it, so that they give their body a chance to adjust. That is how potent this gets into your system. So that technology, which basically takes advantage of the way that those fatty acids that are within the Ultracell and all these plants together, the way their structure is to allow them to get into a form and into a shape that allows the water-soluble parts to be accessible to your mucous membranes and get immediately into your system. But that ability, I've never seen anything like it in 20 years. I mean, this has basically turned botanicals that you had to take a tub full of to get any effect on, and now you can use reasonable doses. You can titrate it to your own system and individualize it, and that was incredibly difficult to do before we had this Ultra technology. So it has revolutionized not only the health for now tens of thousands or more of patients, but in my own practice, it's revolutionized the care of a number of people that I had very little to offer them before, and now it's revolutionized my understanding and the way that I think about supplements and botanicals in my practice. If this was available for any other product that you could come out with, you're going to increase absorption, and that is something that's absolutely unique. And I've not come across it since I've been in practice. Anything that allowed those gifts from nature to actually get into our system that well.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Okay, Matt, final question for you since we got you. And again, guys, it's just so awesome to hear Matt train. He, as you guys can tell, his intelligence level is very, very high. And I love, Matt, your passion, the way you and Matty share this every day. And again, guys, they don't just give this lip service. They're out building a team, and that's how much they believe in this. But, Matt, I want you to just, without revealing the details, because we got to be careful there, we've been working very hard for this new introduction coming up this Saturday. I want you to just touch on, from a magnitude perspective, what do you see this weekend's introduction from a product perspective, the new product? What type of impact? And be careful, please. It's easy to slip. We want to surprise them. But what do you feel sincerely? Talk to us about the impact that you see the new product being introduced this weekend has the potential to be able to have on every single person that's a part of our company here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think this has the potential to be a product and a name that is on the lips of literally, at one point in our very near future, everyone in the world, particularly in our country. There are some health conditions that people suffer from, which I am very interested and take care of a lot in my own practice, that literally affects about 2/3 of the United States. And people get absolutely hopeless when they've tried multiple things to do about this themselves. The ability to what you've done, you've given us a gift with this product that's coming that I don't know, I don't really know how to express it, because helping people with these conditions, and this condition in particular, has been a passion of mine since before I even got my stripes or started practice. It's something, and that's something I intend to share a bit on. But it's been something that a lot of doctors haven't been willing to help with much. They've been taught not to, in fact, at times. But it's crazy, because the way that our body works, most of the adaptations that our body does, it thinks it's trying to help us. But some of the ways it has to do that, because of our environment, because of our lifestyle, because of things like that, we have things that can get out of balance. And when they're out of balance, it can really affect your health. It can literally kill you. We're talking about a condition that kills about 400,000 people a year. And we have what I believe is with this technology, a nutraceutical approach to be an absolute game changer on multiple facets of that condition, and to change literally millions of lives. And I have no doubt whatsoever that it's going to do that. And I just can't tell you how excited I am to have been part of the conversation with it and to be part of who's going to go out and be educated and sharing on it with like my colleagues around the country. They will say, well, if this was so true and made all this difference, well, Big Pharma would own it already. You guys need to realize something. Because of the process that pharma goes through, they are a decade behind us. They have no way to bring their research machinery up to speed with the way that we can because we're in the nutraceutical realm. So they can thumb their nose all they want at it, but they are absolutely behind, and it will be years before they have products like ours that have this degree of efficacy.
Well, my friend, you're going to play a large part in that educational process, and we want to thank you in advance. That's exciting. With that being said, guys, I want to again thank Dr. Matt Andry for an absolutely incredible job here tonight. I know we went a little bit beyond our time. We appreciate those of you that have hung out to still kind of pick up these bits and pieces. Have a great night, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.